Welcome back to the Afterparty podcast. My name's Chris. This is Adam.
What's up?
And it's episode 4. So thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us to hang out. Today's topic, rough topic. Obviously, it's a podcast. You know, can't be too much structure without deviation. Mm-hmm. But today we wanted to talk about games or certain classics. And whether or not they've aged well, realistically. Spoiler, we've picked games that haven't. So it's not like we're going to go through them like, yes or no. No, we picked ones that have not aged well. Mm-hmm. GoldenEye is the biggest one, I think.
Yeah.
We're not going to spend too much time on it because I'm relieved that it's at this point now because I remember a time when it wasn't at this point, but it is at a point now where people realize it sucks.
Yeah. Compared to anything today.
Yeah.
It's like
or just like any other version.
Yeah.
Like Donkey had that video on him playing it on PC and he was sniping people.
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah,
that was really fun.
So it's just the C buttons on the N64 controller did not work well with that game at all. Mm-hmm. I forget, I haven't played it in such a long time because the first time I played it was trash and I didn't want to play it again.
Boom, roasted.
Yeah, so when you like look up with the C button, do you swing back down? Like, are you elastic? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Because if you are, fucking kill me. I hate that shit.
I just remember just holding the shoot button.
Yeah.
And running. Just holding forward.
Fucking just being on a swivel.
You're fighting the boss. Dude, this is kind of funny just in shooting games in general. Anytime you fight a boss in a shooting game, it's just part of me. If it's just a person, it always makes you're just like unloading on a guy. And this guy's just like standing and just taking it. Like you're fighting.
It's always weird. It always has to be something bigger than that to feel like a threat.
Yeah. Because you're fighting like in the jungle. You fight like this girl in GoldenEye, and she's just there like dual wielding like assault rifles, and you're just like, and she's just like sitting there, just like oh. Like this is so bizarre.
Yeah. It's always weird because I mean I'm primarily a Nintendo gamer, so all the boss fights in Nintendo games are pretty grand,
right?
You know,
yeah, that makes sense.
So I can't really think of like the only thing I can think of maybe is like Splinter Cell, but it didn't really feel like a boss fight. It was kind of just like a head of some corporation or some shit that you had to take out, you know. And even then, when I was playing it, I didn't think to myself, oh yeah, that was a boss fight,
right?
It was just kind of an objective, and then I killed the main guy. I was like, oh, that's it, the game's over. You know, it's a great game. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's like a bad thing. It's just kind of there's a lot less distinction if you're not playing a Nintendo game, or like Dark Souls or something, or Sekiro.
Yeah, when a big health bar pops up on the screen.
Yeah,
I love the Dark Souls memes of people like just like putting the boss health bar. Like the one I think John tried to tweet, it was like the dude had like the end of like a tuba on his head and then like the ends of his arms and his feet. And it was just like some random name, like trumpeteer of death. It's just like health bar. Those are always so funny.
Loud laugh, audio listeners and whatever. But anyway, yeah, that's a big meme. Was it just a picture or like?
It was a picture of like this dude with like.
I was gonna say if you just do that with like a short video with him just walking, than just the. That's really funny. So yeah, GoldenEye. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
I think Adam agrees with me on this for the race or two that he played with me when I was beating it. Super Mario Kart for Super Nintendo.
Yeah, not very good.
Fucking trash.
Boring. Not
boring and hard in a bad way. Mm-hmm. In a bad way, I mean the controls limit your success, which is always bad. I don't care what anyone says. If I hear a review of a game, they're like, the controls could be better. I'm out. Nope, I'm done. Because why would I want to play that? Like, God damn it. Unless it's like an artistic choice, like in Shadow of the Colossus or something. Even then, it's just like...
What in that game do they do?
They're like when you're swinging from like the hair of a Colossus, you don't feel... Like the controls aren't very tight. It's very natural. It feels like you're actually...
Swinging.
It gives you that feeling of actually holding on for dear life, but... through the method or through the medium of bad controls.
Yeah.
You know
I know what you mean.
So they sacrifice control so that you feel like you don't have much.
Dude, but if you're
control.
Driving and I'm trying to make hard 90s, like,
yeah, exactly.
I want to be able to just make those hard 90s.
Especially when you're just like in the first one, it actually feels like go-karts. Like it's very just like
you're like
and you have like the drifts where you do like a fucking 5-foot hop, you know. But once you get into like 150cc, dude, it's borderline unplayable. Like the tracks feel really small. The turns are way too fucking sensitive for where the edges are. Like any boardwalk level is a nightmare. And not because it's spooky.
I was just gonna say,
because of the fucking hitboxes.
Is that a pun?
Yeah. No.
Don't misunderstand.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a very bad game.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just.
I feel like every Mario Kart after is substantially better
than that one.
Yes.
You're not saying than the one before it, because I disagree with that.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, no.
They're all better than Super Mario Kart.
Yes.
Like,
but
by an equal amount.
You don't like Double Dash.
I don't.
Yes.
But I mean, I don't like Double Dash when you're playing the average kart. Like to play Double Dash, I had to have Toad in the really low down kart.
Yeah.
You know. And so it didn't feel, because if you're in a normal kart like Mario's kart, you're bouncing all over the place and you're in the air half the time. It's so fucking annoying. It feels like Shadow of the Colossus. It gave me that same feeling of like just I just want to get me on the ground.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it sucks, man. And the game just feels kind of unfinished, like a lot of GameCube games do. Like the tracks are very like barren.
Yeah, there's not a
lot of character or life to them. You know, like they're finished, but there's not a lot of like.
Did Yoshi
little details?
Circuit? Was that GameCube version?
Yeah, where he's shaped like Yoshi.
Just Yoshi.
Yeah,
that's a great.
How
did that actually work out? You know what I mean? Like they're just like, let's just make Yoshi a track.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is dope. This is one of the best tracks ever made.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very. I guess they had to. They probably.
I'm sure they did little tweaks to make it.
Yeah, the biggest one I can think of is with his spikes on his back, the back of his neck. It's just those chicanes or whatever, but you can clearly just go straight through them,
right?
Because they have like the little red and white borders, and you just jump over. But other than that, yeah, it worked out pretty fucking well.
Yeah,
because you have the saddle is like that tunnel, right?
Oh, the tunnel, yeah.
Is that might be his nose? Is the tunnel his nose? I think it might be. I don't remember.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah, I think, but because it's got to be. Yeah,
it's nice rounded.
Yeah, that's a good. That's a good one. That's a good
nose saddle, whichever.
So yeah, I think.
But Super Mario Kart. When the little I played of it, it's just like not fun to like.
Yeah.
Like every Mario Kart, you just pick it up and you're like, this is fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for the
even Double Dash when you pick it up, it's fine. You know,
but dude,
I'm talking about like
as soon as you pick up Super Mario Kart, it's just like. I can't drive the cart. I'm like off the track.
And the thing too, I know this was probably like the first game that ever drifted. But when you drift, you have to swing out and you have to hop again and correct it. It's so quick you don't even see it.
It's like a counter.
Yeah, you have to counter drift every time.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I would never.
You get used to it, but it's not fun. It's not satisfying.
It doesn't sound intuitive either.
Yeah.
That's exactly thing to do.
Yeah. But. Mario Kart 64 was an incredible improvement. That's a fucking great game. That's still fun.
Yeah.
The only downside of that game is the rubber banding with the CPUs, which is retarded.
It's insane.
But
no lead is safe.
Yeah.
No lead.
I think Mario Kart Wii, probably the least talked about Mario Kart at this point, but I think that's a fucking masterful game.
Yeah, it kind of slipped under the radar. I think because it was just good. Like
It was good when it was out. It was clearly the best one. I think.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like Double Dash is better, but I think that at the time was still like they said Double Dash would be better. Okay. I think that was still this game previous is better. Like I think that was that happening, but now I still think it's behind Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8 is perfect. There's nothing wrong with that game.
Yeah,
Deluxe specifically, I guess, right? Because it has all the DLC.
Yeah, Mario Kart 8 in general.
But yeah, and I remember Mario Kart 8. I was super disappointed when I first got it.
Oh, character selection.
Because it had a very shitty character selection, and it only had... I mean, it had 8 cups, like usual, but the character selection was trash. And, like, the fact that you could unlock cars, like, randomly was kind of weird, and I wasn't a big fan of that. And
I still don't really like that, actually.
Yeah, and I don't like I didn't like the coin method.
Yeah.
But I had gotten used to it in Mario Kart 7, but I still wasn't a huge fan of it.
I like having, like, a targeted... like unlock where it's like, oh, you get this cart by doing this thing, because then you're like, I want that cart.
Yeah,
I know how to get it.
Fucking do it.
I'm gonna go do that.
And you know what was fun to do that in, or what game that was fun to do in? Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah,
I fucking remember.
And Double Dash.
I remember unlocking Birdo. That was kind of hard. I remember unlocking the Formula 1 car in Mario.
I don't remember that one.
In Mario Kart Wii. It's just a straight up Indy car. It's really
dope.
cool. Or Formula 1 Indy.
whatever.
It's probably closer to indie. But it sucks though because the car isn't that great. I was really disappointed.
In Double Dash, when you get the trophy, like you get the trophy card at the end.
Yeah,
Like how cool is that?
That's fucking dope.
You know what I mean? Like there's like when you're just randomly unlocking.
Yeah,
it's like
it's Nintendo finally rewarding you for completing the game.
Yeah,
Nintendo
for real.
never does it. I don't know why. But yeah, it was fucking cool. I didn't even know you could do that, and then I 100%ed it with Harrison.
Yeah,
And we did it. I was like, holy shit.
trophy
Got
card.
the fucking trophy card. It sucks, but it's
Yeah,
cool.
it's
God, I
neat.
have it. You know, they're probably like, we have the model. Just fucking put it there
Put it
for
in the
the. Which they should do with a lot of things. I feel like. But yeah, I think so. Super Mario Kart definitely does not hold up. We were talking about this. We have a separate mini series that we're still working on. We've worked on for so long, but just because it takes a long time. We've been playing through every generation Pokemon. And we realized that Generation 2 is the only generation since it's been released to only add things to Pokemon.
Yeah,
Every other generation takes things away.
yeah,
Takes something away that significantly affects your quality of life.
yeah. Like take something out and add something else instead.
Yeah,
Especially
exactly.
recently. Especially recently.
no.
It's got
Now, this is the first time I think it's outweighed. By far, it's outweighed. I think.
Yeah.
But I think this is the first time because usually it kind of got closer and closer, and then Gen 6 I feel like kicked back a little bit because 3D graphics were fucking great. They added like Wonder Trading, and the PSS was really good.
Yeah.
But after that, it was like Gen 7 added fucking Festival Plaza and shit, which is trash.
Oh.
And then of course Generation 8, which where the line ends for me.
Yeah. Sad.
So
Sad.
yeah, but Generation 2, man, is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. That was probably one of my favorite gens to play.
for sure. That was a lot
And
of
the
fun,
remakes
man.
of them, for that matter. Games are dope.
I remember when we because we started with Gen 1 in 2016. I know, right? And then we were like, okay, we're gonna take a break after we were playing it. Like, okay, we're gonna take a small break and then we'll go to Gen 2. We
just went right through it.
we couldn't. I think
Gen 1 was so fast. We did it in like
know,
a
man.
couple weeks.
Actually, I think we did take a big break. I think the thing we didn't take a break was Gen 2 to Gen 3.
Oh, I thought
Because we started Gen 2 when I started dating Kaylee, and that was 2018. So I think we started
I think
Gen
you're right.
2 later.
Yeah, I think
because
you're
that's
right.
when we decided to do it.
We'd eat the new bats, fresh bats.
Yeah, that too. That's what it was. That took us forever to get new batteries in our cartridges. But because we're going through every game, we're not playing the remakes for whatever. We're playing the original release. Because originally we just want to do a Gen 1. Because like, oh no, we got 2 people. We have all the supplies.
Yeah, it was.
And that was really what caused us to made us want to do this whole thing is because we have all the supplies and we have 2 people that care about it and want to do it. So we figured, why the hell not, and see how it holds up. So Gen 2 was great. The only thing that I can remember not enjoying is 1% Pokemon.
Yeah, like
But that's
sparse.
And fucking Yanma was my curse.
Dude, remember I randomly ran into a Yanma?
Yeah, I do remember that.
And I didn't know it was one. Like I didn't know it was really rare.
Yeah, it was Yanma. Yeah, I didn't know that
I
either.
just killed it.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, it's dead now.
It's still dead. Yeah, and then it took me. Oh, dude, I don't even know. It took me at least 3 hours to find it.
Wow.
And then you remember my fucking terrible experience with Suicune?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Remember my great experience?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
You sent me a Snapchat. That's how short it was.
Yeah, it was very fast. I caught them all in like 2 hours, if that.
And
crazy.
I ran into Suicune 5 times in a row. It roared on the first turn,
Yeah,
and that's pretty extreme.
very extreme.
Yeah, and it broke me down. I was a broken man by the end of by the time I caught it. I wasn't even happy. I wanted to release it. Get that shit out of my PC.
Disrespectful.
But yeah, so that's the only thing I can think of that was negative.
From Gen 2 to Gen 3,
Yeah.
what was taken out? So they like Johto Pokemon.
Those Pokemon.
For starters.
I think,
Was there day and night in the first in Ruby and Sapphire?
yeah, but our batteries have been dead so long that you haven't seen it in a long time.
That's true.
I'm pretty sure.
No, I think you're right.
But that was the first thing to die, is that like day and night cycle.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing, I know people say like you have that cut off, but they still made it all available to certain games. But the tedium that was required that we went through.
Oh, right.
To get all of those Pokemon that were re-added that way, I think that is a definite subtraction from just trading from Gen 1 to Gen 2. You know what I mean? Even if it was just... Even if they took Leaf Green and Fire Red and put Gen 1 and Gen 2 all in those games, and you just traded that way, that would have been fine, you know? But it was... I don't know, man. Just those random fucking selections of shitty Pokemon that you could only get in Coliseum and XD.
Yeah, it's
of
annoying.
Gen 2 Pokemon. It was totally...
It's like Stantler, only available in Pokemon Coliseum.
Stantler, Furret, Ledian. I'm not going to name all of them. Fucking the paintbrush. Smeargle.
Which you can get in Emerald. And Smeargle in a cave
at
Battlefront
That's
here.
right, yeah. But we went 100%. We just went into Coliseum 100% and everything.
Yeah, just because we could.
Yeah. So, and we fucking didn't drop. We never failed a Shadow Pokemon. Do you remember
we
that?
didn't, yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I think we had to retry was the final fight. Because that's like...
We had to stop and just like train for it, which was a nightmare.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, Coliseum. That's a good one. I don't know. I can't imagine that game ever being fun.
That game was
but
bad.
Coliseum was really bad.
Yeah,
as a terrible game. Just in general, everything about it is bad. The fact that, just to name a few, the battle animations take 1.5 years and are not. You can't toggle them or turn them off. The speed at which you run. It's like, very slow.
On paper, it seems like a good idea, like a console Pokemon game.
But the execution,
it's like story driven, all this stuff. But it's like, dude, all you do is battle. Like when it gets down to it, all you do is battle.
Yeah, because you can't.
Because half
it. I would say more than half the fun.
And your selection of Pokemon is very limited.
Yeah,
to what is in the game,
exactly,
which is very limited.
That's to even use. I was gonna say you can't even go out hunting for Pokemon.
Yeah,
which is honestly my favorite part of Pokemon. Is going to find wild Pokemon and find the one that you're looking for, or just like come across one that, like in Gen 2, when we were playing it, I was like 3 badges in. I ran into Entei.
Oh, really?
I ran in. He just like, it was like on fucking route whatever the fuck.
I kind of remember that.
And
now.
I had like my second evolution starter, and I ran into Entei. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's dope.
And I legitimately had like a like a fucking like it was crazy, you know. And it was
Pokeball out there.
Yeah,
and see what happens.
Okay, yeah.
Pokemon broke free.
It was cool. It was a lot of. It was a very special moment that was not even close to replicated in in Pokemon Coliseum, or really. Does that happen ever again? Like where you can just see a roamer early? I don't even know, because the only ones I can think of are Gen 5, Gen 4. I think
not that I know of.
Gen 4, you have to toggle the roamers, I think.
Yeah, the 3 like
the Lake
sprite
Trio
things. Yeah,
the Lake Trio. And then Gen 3, you can't really just run into Latios or Latias, right?
Yeah, those are. That's after you beat the Elite Four. You talk to the you see on TV.
See that's kind of dumb.
Yeah,
you know, like why? Because
then it becomes like you just run around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like I'm just out and then you can run into it randomly and it's cool.
That's one thing. I like stood back from Pokemon for like at one point I was playing something. I thought about how much shit is wrong with Pokemon.
It's a lot. Yeah, there could be so much more.
There are so many things that you fill in mentally and just give them like a pass for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fact that the Pokemon don't look like they're fighting, you know, like
did you see
the fact that like trainers just will always give you like they're like, you know what I mean? Like there's so many realistic things that are just not in the game. And go ahead.
Did you see the GIF of the animation of what's the Pokemon X
Xerneas?
Xerneas. It was Xerneas using a Z move in Sun or Moon, and it just what do you call that?
The animation.
Yeah, just like the actual animation of the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Just like going through it, it just didn't move.
Oh, the sprite?
Yeah, the sprite.
Oh, yeah, he was just like...
The sprite was just like a 3D sprite
sliding,
flying through the air, doing this Z move, and then it just like lands in front of the other Pokemon. It's like, psh, and then just like flies. It was so bad.
That's retarded.
It was so bad.
Yeah. So that, just stuff like that, and it's like, oh, it's like there's so many Pokemon. You are literally the richest company in the fucking planet, like the richest media company in the history of time. Fucking hire more people.
Yeah, dude.
Spend some more time. I don't need a Pokemon game every year. You know? I mean, I would like it if you had the fucking grind, you know, and you did it. But if it's gonna be shitty, fucking keep it. It's just, no. And again, they just put it out because they know no one's gonna fucking stop buying it.
For sure, yeah. I mean, what's their incentive to stop doing what they're doing?
And I guess I can't blame them for that or whatever. I'm just upset because I love the product that they used to put out so much.
Yeah.
I know I just said there's so much wrong with it, but I still love it. You know, the stuff that is right with it is fucking great. So it's Pokemon Gen 3 on. I mean, the games hold up. Don't get me wrong, but the series itself has really has been on a constant decline since Gen 2.
I think so too. I think, like, especially now where they're doing this thing where, like, every generation they're adding some, like, quote gimmick. Not that I think it's like dumb or anything, but it's like, oh, Z moves gone, Mega Evolutions. That's like, I think kind of gone. Like now it's these Gigamax. Now it's just big Pokemon.
Yeah,
it's like, well, just pick something that's gonna like stick.
Yeah,
that has some staying power. Yeah, they're gonna have to get rid of.
Yeah, even at first when like Mega Evolutions came, I was like, okay, dude, this is stupid.
It's a little much
because then it just dilutes the Pokemon can evolve into this. And, like, it dilutes the Pokedex in my opinion. And
because is that number one?
Yeah, like does that take up a Dex space? It doesn't, but it's like, why shouldn't it? You know, like
right.
And it's like the devs just decide whether or not it does. And now like Alolan forms and shit, I fucking hate it.
I don't mind Alolan forms.
I don't like them.
You don't?
No, I don't know.
I kind of like them because I think it's added. I like that they used like original Pokemon.
Yeah.
Gave them like a fresh coat of paint, if you will, and then it's just kind of like, oh, all right, this is neat, and it's like it's the same, but it's just a little different because it's somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I guess
I'm kind of okay with. I'm pretty okay with the.
I guess I would have been more okay with it if it wasn't like a fucking selling point.
I know what you mean.
They marketed it as it was. I'm like, just put new Pokemon in there. Like, fucking give me new Pokemon. Like, that's cool. Fucking just throw it on the side and be like, oh, fuck yeah, that's a cool little addition, you know?
Yeah.
But if it wasn't the fucking, like, one of the main points that they were selling, I would have been more okay with it.
I think, too, I like because it actually has, like, I just like more staying power. Like, it's something they can actually keep.
Yeah.
And, like, they can just put in the next game. Like, where now they're doing this. It's almost like with like card games, like even like Yu-Gi-Oh, they'll add like a new type of card.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, we fucking hate that. You know what I mean? Like it's just everyone hates this new type of card they add. Yeah. And they're like, never mind, it's now illegal. You can't use that anymore. And it's just like, what do you just pick something that's just gonna like add a bit?
Yeah, it's just,
and you
exactly
keep it,
but don't dilute everything.
Like, it's annoying. I hate the new stuff they're doing every generation.
Yeah. So we'll save that. Sorry for the listeners that didn't expect to go super deep into Pokemon, but we'll save that for the classic decks, which is our mini series of all the Pokemon generations. So stay tuned for that. But so other games that have not aged super well. I think I always say that the Mario 64 controls. Are showing their age significantly, but not the controls themselves. The environment around the controls. There's so many times where I'm like on the edge of a thing. I'm like, and I like fucking if I bump it too hard, he's gonna just fucking like, whoo, he like fucking does the ass slip, whatever. I'm like, god damn it! It's like I was like the fuck, it's a platform. God damn it! It's just Mario feels too big for the world, in my opinion. You know,
I understand where you're coming from,
but you disagree.
But I disagree because I
that's fair.
I don't know if it's maybe I'm just like I played it my whole life and I'm used to it. But yeah,
I'm bad. You're saying maybe
I'm trying to say you're not very good at the game, and you need to grow up. And no, I played it enough that like I don't. The game just feels like perfect out. For me, it's just like it literally feels like a sandbox where I'm just like a Mario. I jump to a painting and just run around like and I can. It's just like natural in my brain at this point. Yeah. So the game is like one of my
that's the thing, like
perfect games.
Yeah, like when I'm running around in the courtyard and everything, it feels fun. You know, and I like that.
But it's when you get to like a small platform.
Like fucking Tall Mountain. Fuck off. That whole thing, I feel huge. Like all those mushrooms and shit, and just like the thin walkways where I gotta fucking slow down. And it's clearly not a part where you're supposed to slow down. Yeah. It's just like, oh, god damn it. Or just like the top, where there's that stone area where it has slanted walls, and if you fucking look at it wrong, you slide off the fucking, you're at the bottom now. Like, oh, it's the worst.
Tall Mountain. That is a tough level. That one's, I like that level, but it definitely is frustrating. The mushrooms in particular. Yeah. Getting the red coins on the mushrooms.
Yeah. It's like it's insane how small those platforms are. And it's like the very beginning of the level, so it has some introduction to it, you know?
Yeah, it's like one of the first things you see when you're going up the mountain to the left. Jump like 2 gaps and there's all the mushrooms.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden 3 of the red coins are on platforms that are as big as the red coins, you know?
Yeah.
So that's just my issue. I like how he feels, but relative to the platforms around it, it sucks. It's frustrating. Like if I think about it now, when you're moving Mario, he feels a lot bigger. And then if you go to like Sunshine, he feels kind of more compact. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. That actually is a good comparison.
The camera distance, honestly.
Could, yeah.
But I don't know. When you're moving Mario around, he feels like a toy in Sunshine. But in Mario 64, he actually feels like a
tank,
like a thing.
Yeah.
You know? But I always compare it to Sunshine because I think Sunshine's controls are perfect.
It is.
They're
Sunshine's
so
super tight. Yeah, it's a lot tighter for sure.
I always say it's like Smash 64 to Melee.
Yeah, I think it's a good comparison. Super Mario 64, even though I do like the controls a lot, they're definitely looser.
Yeah,
like he's a lot more like when you stop and turn around, there's like he just throw on the brakes for a second and throw up some dust. And then turn
exactly.
Around.
Or like Mario 1 compared to like Super Mario World or something.
Yeah, he has like momentum.
Yeah, which I know people are like, it's amazing that you could do that in video games. I'm like, okay, but like, they were too concerned about whether or not they could to stop and think whether or not they should.
Yeah, no, it's weird.
Yeah. So.
You know what we've been playing recently that I kind of feel that way about with controls is Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
The controls definitely feel just like, and maybe because I think that the games I like the most anymore, like Dark Souls and stuff like that, are like loosely based off that game's combat.
Yeah.
With like Z targeting and stuff. Like my brain wants to operate the game the way the new way the games are played, where it's like you just lock on, you can easily strafe around. It's like and like with the one analog stick doing that, it's just like
I will say
it doesn't feel good.
I will say it is pretty shitty. The Wii U Pro Controller is one of my favorite controllers of all time, but playing Ocarina of Time on the Wii U Virtual Console with the Wii U Pro Controller, it's not great. I played the most recent version of Ocarina of Time that I've played was the Master Quest on GameCube, and I played that with a GameCube controller. That was great. Like even because it's a great controller, they just clearly didn't map it well, like in the sensitivity and stuff.
Yeah,
you know. But the GameCube controller felt great, but this one just feels just really like thin and not weighty, you know.
It might be just the controller isn't made to like translate to a Nintendo 64 game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, which makes sense.
But
because it's so far removed. But the GameCube was the next generation. You were used to the beef of that controller. You know? So I will say that I think if you did play it on even the original, the controller would feel better.
I'd have to give it another shot, maybe with like a. Well, I mean, we're still playing it, but I'll have to try it again, maybe with like a better controller.
Or if you ever play the Master Quest.
Yeah, just because like it's just so weird. I think I said it while we were playing it on stream. Like my brain wants to play like I'm playing Dark Souls because it's like exactly the same. You lock on and you then like can strafe around the target. And it's just a little clunkier doing everything. Yeah. So it's just like it's a little frustrating. I feel
like Twilight Princess, I would say, perfected the Z targeting.
Yeah, that's because it's kind of funny how that like all. I never made that connection until I started playing this recently. Where I'm like, it's kind of like Dark Souls and all these games where they have that targeting system. It's literally like from Zelda. It's like it operates the exact same way. Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, and it's been said so many times, but that game is very influential in many ways that people still don't really or kind of don't realize. You know?
Playing it for the first time, I can 100% see it. Like when you think about it, that game came out 1999.
98.
That's pretty nuts because games today are like pretty similar to that. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm experiencing it in reverse, where I'll play something I'm like that's like Ocarina of Time, like that's definitely from Ocarina of Time. You know, like I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but because honestly, I just play Zelda games. But I don't know.
No, if you
like
play
even stuff in Metroid.
Like I think locking on to stuff in general.
Oh yeah,
that whole like premise of locking on and like moving around your lock on.
Yeah, because if you think about it, that's a pretty unintuitive thought. Concept. And so, but now that it exists, like of course. But like so before that, why would you think? I would think about like when I heard about it, I'm like, oh, that's cheating though.
Yeah,
you know, it's kind of like
or you want more freedom of movement. You don't want to be like stuck to this one thing.
Or it's like, well, then what the fuck? Then it's me just playing a 2D game basically. You know what I mean? Because I'm just looking at them from one direction, and I'm shooting at them, they're shooting at me, or I'm swinging my sword at them, and it takes a lot of dimension out of it. But you kind of have to because a control like the camera is limited in most games. You know, and that's not a bad thing. It's just the idea of playing on a rectangular TV screen. But it's a very oddly intuitive or like it's kind of like a dark horse concept. I feel like no one, whoever thought, I'm sure, I don't know if Shigeru Miyamoto thought of it himself. I don't think he did.
No
I'm
clue.
not sure, but yeah, it was definitely a much needed addition to games in general.
Mm-hmm.
So
For sure.
I'm not looking forward to Majora's Mask. That's for sure.
Why not? Yeah,
Because
I think
because of the time limit. Like if you're in a dungeon and you run out of 3 days, you got to do everything again. And you just got to do the whole dungeon within the 3 days. And so you're gonna get to a point where it's like, okay, I know I need to do that. You start over. You get a little farther. You start over. You get a little farther. It's just that's not fun. That doesn't sound fun to me.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm assuming that's how you do it because that's how I've heard you do it. But
That sounds brutal if that's
Yeah.
the case.
but whatever, we'll do it on twitch.tv/airspace live.
Link in the description.
Yeah. Wait.
I hope.
Yes, for sure.
Did I send you? Nah, never mind. So I was working on something, and I had this random person's information at work.
Yeah.
And their date of birth was literally April 20th, 1969.
Dude, get the fuck out of here.
So
really?
it was abbreviated in the system I work at work for 2069, and I was like, "Oh my god, they hate their life."
Either that or they just don't know. I feel like at that
You
point
gotta
you'd be-
know at this point.
Yeah.
If
I guess
it's
so.
you were born in '69,
One of your nephews probably told you or something.
someone had to tell you. If no one's told you, you live under a rock. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All it takes is one like slightly outgoing person to be like,
Yeah.
your name is drug
Holy.
number, sex number. Your name, your
Your
birthday.
name is unholily holy.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next Monday. So make sure to subscribe or follow us on SoundCloud if that's where you're listening. Subscribe or follow on whatever medium you're using.
Click a like.
Yeah. Click a like. Very nice. Stay tuned for more Borat references. There definitely will be.
More where that came from.
Yeah.
What's this?
So we'll be back next week. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody. Bye.
See ya.